Hey everyone.
Why, hello.
How are you all doing today? That's really great. I can't hear you, but I appreciate that you answered anyway. We've got another special surprise for you today. We got a wonderful guest with us. Reina, say hello. Say hello to the people.
Yo.
This is our friend Reina. You've been on the channel before. We had you on for one of our speculation episodes about Umineko, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah. Reina also streams visual novels on Twitch, and we've been in contact for a while. We're like, yeah, seemed like a wonderful person to have on for the next entry in the More Queers Play series, because we always like more. Now, you picked out you picked out this game. Where did you hear about this one?
I just saw it at one point, and I'm like, wait, what the hell is this? Apparently I've just played enough random stuff on Steam. It recommends me obscure VN style.
Excellent.
Awesome.
That whenever you can get the algorithm to actually work for you, that means you're doing it right.
It just recommends me whatever it recommends to people who play all the Nekopara games for reasons that are unclear.
I would assume that's a lot of porn and anime standing.
Anime standing was... Oh, that was a game. Anyway, we're gonna be playing. Today we're gonna be playing through the demo of this game, which is a little bit over an hour long, just to kind of get a feel for it and see how we feel about it. So we're gonna go ahead and double check the preferences, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit that start button.
It is interesting that this says it's about translation, and you've already been translating some language games.
Oh yeah, it's been a weird year for that stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff we played that has been just kind of like phonetic stuff at the worst, like Dog Airport Game and Mr. Rainers were both just like, these are English but with new letters. Tunic had a phonetic English, but I think this is the first one about translating between specifically two existing languages. So, 0, Nulla. 1, Milk and Oleander. After the 4th, we must all learn to lie sweetly in our beds, she said. Sweetly in our beds of milk and oleander. Do not slander her, she who left us. And they in the heavens, may they in the heavens know better. In 10 years' time, if I cannot find a reason to live, I will die. It is simple. I shall not lie. If I cannot find a reason to live, I will die. A fallen camela is a beheading every time, every petal falling at once, a severing. When I fall, I will not scatter like cherry blossoms on the wind. When I fall, it will be a severing. I stand on a field of white flowers where millennia ago I stood before. In the tear-dew kingdom of heaven, there was more, there was more, there was more. There were more of us than 4. We were lilies of heaven. 70 and more. The field is full of white flowers. In the language of the land, this land has become, my name is Hanashiro. In the language of the land was before, my name was Luso Korihama. Luso Korihana Lai. Whew. The lily of heaven that is now known as Shirayuri used to call me Lili. The one now known as Shiragiku has only ever called me by my name, whatever name I am remembered by, though I know she remembers me. She who keeps the time, she who keeps us all in line. Lumine Lei, millennia ago. Silverbell Lan. After that, a lady who knows desire, a lady who sires, a lady undenied who keeps the time and keeps us all in line and keeps us all in line. The tall grass in the white flower field sways around my hips and drips and drips. It is no trick when I say I wish for more. I want to know what's in store, but what is the world worth anymore? I see it. I see the door to the first floor of the Kingdom of 7. It beckons me. It pleads. Come to the tear-dew heavens. The white rabbit misses you so, Hanashiro. No, I know I must go, but I will not go until there is nowhere left to go. The Kingdom of 7, there were only ever 4 of us. I, Hanashiro, and then Shiragiku, Shirayuri, and he, whose name I wish remained unknown to me. Who remembers? The tongue of the heavens, of seven, of worth, of more than the fen and the murk and the mercury of a star, too far. I can taste it. If I want to taste the language of heaven, I will have to go seek out my remaining brethren.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Already have a choice.
We are offered a choice here for the first time in the game.
I'm already all about this. This is so, like, poetic and weird.
Yeah. And I did some surface level research on the game before we started it here, and part of the experience is that it is meant to it is written bilingually at first, right? And what we're reading is the translation of one of those halves. Which is what and part of the theme of the game is about communication, right? And being able to and translation. I believe the person who wrote this game is actually a professional translator.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah, cool way to work your job into your game here.
Even like the goal of Hanashiro so far is just to hear someone talk in their language because it's been so long, right?
Yeah, exactly. Where should we head to first here? Let's head for
Shirayuri, maybe?
Shirayuri. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
We should have probably actually read that one.
Oh yeah, we probably should have. Can I not scroll? I could scroll back.
Holy shit, technology.
Right? Oh my gosh. Can you believe what they're doing with visual novels these days? Shirayuri. What?
I mean, just look at this. The screen looks great.
I mean, I know I haven't said anything about it yet, but yeah, the visual design of this game is already like, what?
The one thing is I'm looking at the little X buttons on all the pseudo windows, and I'm like, what happens if you click them? What happens if you click them? What happens if you click them?
The answer is nothing happens if you click them. Shirayuri, unremembered, forgotten in every wreckage of world, reborn after every new age unfurls. Who I knew when my goddess was just a girl, and who not once have I found with their swallow wings, damage unwrought since the age of error. The answer is already made for me, as though there were any choice at all. Unis.
Hanashiro's portrait's changed.
Yeah! Believe we have put on a mask of some kind now? The Moonflower Castle greets me as it always does, in a clover field of dust. But I blink.
Wait, can we go back for a second?
Yes, we can.
Moonflower Castle. Yeah.
Right here?
No, because if we go back to the decision point, right? I think Moonflower Castle was the other one.
Yeah, huh?
The decision's already made for us.
Oh, so no matter what we pick, it's going to bring us the same place, huh?
I don't know, maybe.
The answer is already made for me, as though there were any choice at all. Yep.
Haha.
I admit, that kind of caught me off guard, because when I was reading the description of the game, it said, like, yeah, there is no decision point. And I'm like, you sure about that? And I'm like, yeah, they're sure about that. The Moonflower Castle greets me as it always does, in a clover field of dust. Oh, but I blink, and before me stands the mirage of vast, unearthly meadow, in every shade of flower but white. Silver sister, you haven't forgiven me yet? But I bet, if asked, I would say the same of her. We are not who we were. If I asked, I would say nothing at all. I enter the Moonflower Castle and step into a long, dark hall. There are no doors on the walls, none at all. None at all. There are, instead, moons. Moons hanging on the wall, blinking without eyes. The image stuttering, falling. The illusory divine. The mirage of time. Have these moons always been on the wall? Have they been here before? What is in store? Are they here now? Or have they been here before? I don't know. I can't remember when. I don't know when Amayuri were cast out of seven, of worth, not heaven, in unearth. I just know we were. And we are not who we thought we were. We are not who gods thought we were. And she, even her, Shiragiku, She was cut down by the first camellia to fall. When the world ended, but how many times has it been since we lost it all? I walk down the hallway for hours. Sometimes it even rains. I would bet it is not raining outside. Stubborn Shiragiku wishes for me to wish my demise, as though it would only take a mere inconvenience to do that. It would take more to do that, though it took less before. But I am not who I was then. Someone else now stands before. And this is Loon Kochiron here.
An honorable guest has arrived. How wonderful it is to meet you.
I have an impressive vertical leap for a lily of small stature, and I use every meter of it. There is no ceiling to this room, nothing to signal doom, not so explicitly as an endless ceiling to a room. A voice like chiming bells jitters with what is too earnest to be polite laughter.
You startled me,
I say.
Nekomata.
The Nekomata's dark twin tails swish behind them. They are, unlike myself, with my soft and graceful build, rakishly tall and handsome, if one has preference for rakes. That's such a good turn of phrase.
I mean, sometimes you do.
Maybe, I mean, they wouldn't be rakish if they weren't, right? They are wearing a black kimono with embroidery of a rolling mist in gold. Their pale and sable-tipped cat ears perk.
It is my honor to startle you, Shiro-sama.
I wave a dismissive hand.
Don't call me that.
If this humble servant may ask,
The Nekomata says, with a glint in their dark eyes.
which Shiro-sama are you?
I pause, a hand lifting to my mask before I even ask it to. My mask has grand oni horns that have a majesty where my own are a bit lacking. I was born with delicate, exceedingly sharp, and only somewhat small horns that fit well enough into the folklore that ruled this land an eternity ago. Sometimes all you know is a new word for the same thing to call yourself, over and over and over again. Tuning yourself and your tongue to speak the words that rule a kingdom. Today is not the day I speak true. No, not when I know what will happen when I do. No one will listen.
Already with words to call yourself and you're trying to communicate that to yourself because but it might just be me, but that was gender.
Yeah, there definitely is a sub feeling of gender here. Also the notion that you have to bend your tongue in the way you speak in order to who is in control at the moment, and the way systems of power irrevocably dictate how language is used.
Gender, from what I've read about this, is intentional. So is the idea of how to communicate and translate your trauma as well.
Mm-hmm. That definitely checks out. Other than that, my mask has gold accents, flower carvings lifting from it like gold thread embroidery, the thinnest strokes of black ink and red joining it in depictions of lycorium, ast, the last, and the flowers that were once mine in that garden, immortal to time. In that garden where I lost what was meant to be mine. The white rabbit dug a hole in the garden after it gored me out of what was mine. I've been chasing the red thread of my guts this whole time. The intestine is longer than most think. How long does it take to drink a body's worth of blood? It takes a long time for a body to drain of blood, whether you do it by laceration or by flood. It takes a long time for a body to drain of blood, but no time at all to gore someone you trust. Yeah, I'm definitely picking up on the, this definitely does sound like someone dealing with the trying to process through trauma. But you never trusted me, did you? I trusted you.
Hello?
The Nekomata is not wearing a mask, and their eyes seem to swallow all light.
Your most honored majesty, the great and enduring Shiro-sama?
Hanashiro. Call me Hanashiro, Nekomata.
The fawn-like, sable-tipped ears flatten.
I have a name too.
What is it?
The Nekomata looks pensive.
Well...
Okay.
Did you do the well bit?
Oh, I read the other well. I'm a genius.
I was wondering about that. I didn't hear you. I'm so sorry. Professionals here. Don't worry. We do this for a living. They scratch their head.
Aren't names such strange things? Oh no, that
It's all right. Yeah, that's part of the fun of doing this stuff live.
Wait, that one was
That
me?
last one's you.
Lamau.
Yeah.
Aren't names such strange things?
Are you stupid or am I? Their hair is long and dark and suspenseful, the way it cascades to the ground, hovering slightly off of it and not a tangle all the way down. Shirayori, you had hair like that for eons.
Eons, I've waited for you.
I murmur. The Nekomata's ears flick.
Come again?
Shirayuri.
I do beg pardon the severe disrespect of honesty, but I haven't the slightest clue what you're on about.
No, you wouldn't, would you?
Swallow, swan, shrike. You were the first of us, and the first to fall that night.
Tsubame-chan. I'll call you Tsubame-chan.
My, what an incredible honor to be given a name by a god-revered, god-feared master of the heavens. Oh, Shiro-sama, just listen. Tsubame Lun Kochoran. How's that sound?
I roll my eyes.
Like a pain in the ass.
I'll show you a pain in your ass.
Tsubame-chan mutters.
Excuse me?
I said, isn't it unbefitting to be crass?
Did you now?
Tsubame-chan beams.
Most certainly.
Who gave you the...
Tsubame-chan's a little shit.
I'm a big fan of Lin Kocharan.
Yeah, Kocharan is very good so far.
Who gave you the Lun and Kocharan names? It couldn't have been Shirikiku, could it? It's interesting because those names definitely seem to be of the previous language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because their language, they've lived long enough that their language has gone through different iterations at this point, as Hanashiro has alluded to.
I wonder.
You little.
Now, I'm not the one who's little, am I?
Tsubame-chan puts on the most innocent expression, complete with the stupid-looking doe eyes. I flex my retractable claws with a shing.
You like breathing?
It's not bad.
Tsubame-chan's tail sways back and forth.
Anyone ever tell you to respect your elders?
That's only for people who are actually old, Shiro-sama. We must be the same age, don't you think?
Tsubame-chan smiles. A vein is about to burst in my forehead. I can feel it.
It's Hanashiro, and how old are you anyway?
Good question.
You forgot how old you are?
It's around 25 to 27, maybe 28? 24? Who can say? Tell me, how old are you lot, really? The celestial lords of heaven. Shiragiku says a lady never tells. I say 27.
Not 27.
I murmur. How old am I? Eons, eternities, centuries, ages, and no time at all. We heavenly lilies will never change. We will live forever and ever and ever. Ever and ever and ever. After the fourth died, the other three, Swallow, Swan, Shrike, will live forever. Tonight, and every night thereafter. Every night thereafter, until the camellias fall. A fallen camellia is a beheading, every time, every petal falling at once. A severing.
It's wild that, since this is in 2 languages, right? And
Yep.
they managed to get the poetry and cadence to work in both. obviously, right?
Yeah, it's darn impressive. I've always struggled to have like a good ear for like for noticing poetry and when it sounds good or when poetic language seems to work. But it definitely seems to work very well here if it's making even me be like, oh, I see you. I feel that.
The way I feel about like poetry and poetic language is kind of similar how I think, where stories don't necessarily need things to have meanings to things when they can just convey emotion or feelings themselves, right? Because it's kind of hard to grasp some feelings or like that quite intent, like you don't have the words for like that sort of feeling you're having, right?
Yeah.
And like capturing that with language or things is good enough in itself. So it's like, as soon as you feel it, I think that counts, right?
Yeah. And as someone who's done a fair amount of writing myself, like that's a very difficult thing to achieve. A lot of the writing I do is very literal, factual, reportive almost. And like when I see people able to capture that sense of being able to convey an emotion or something without necessarily having to state it directly, but lead you to something, lead you to a feeling without having to tell you what that feeling is, I'm like, damn, that is some next tier wordsmithery. Gonna have some of my throat lubricant.
Also, since Hanshu keeps mentioning the three and Swan, Swallow, and Shrike, and none of that seems to be the White Rabbit, because everyone else is like Shiro, Giku, Shiro, right?
Yep. Let's see. How old are you? The rabbit trapped inside me flickers to life. He wakes, starlight in his veins. I can feel it happening before I know it, temper flaring to life quicker than quicksilver, quicker than light. I don't know why. Tonight, I never know why. It just happens. I start shaking, and my hands in their narrow rage whip out my stiletto I keep tucked against my chest. And then Shirogiku's voice, our last conversation, the last millennium at the end of the world. There is no rest. There is no rest for someone like you. You knew. You knew there is no rest for someone running from the White Rabbit. And since I've tumbled down that hole she dug like a grave he knew I'd never need. A silver bell rings as Tsubame-chan draws their rapier.
What on earth is wrong with you?
The White Rabbit. For eons we have lived. Us, Amayori 3. One of them lost to you and me. One of them lost. Shiragiku knows me, but trust has gone to rot between us. If it ever lived. And isn't that because of you, Rabbit? Isn't that because of you? For eons I have lived seeking something lost, someone lost, seeking something lost.
Do you remember me, Shirayuri?
I have no idea who the fuck that is. And I don't think you do either.
Damn, all right. Hurt. Fair enough. Would you forgive me if I killed you, Shirayuri? Because I can't be sure if it's you, and I can't be sure you won't kill me like you used to. I lunge, my body loose and light like a cloud. Cut me open and I'm full of dew coalescing on spider silk. And if you eat my guts, they're sweet as milkweed. But that red thread of faded intestine, I lost that long ago, down the rabbit hole. My tender flesh is gentle, here, and I know you are more than that, dear. Swallow, Tsubame. You always wanted to be the one to gore me on your horns. And when you finally did, Shirayuri, that cavity was full of white lilies, chrysanthemum, and camellia. The rabbit nesting within the flowers jumped out. I don't remember what happened then. I don't even remember this. I know. The rabbit is here now, kicking at my lungs. He was here long ago. I know, but was he here before? Was there anything before? I don't know. I can't see the door.
I don't remember you, Shiri,
I say.
but I know.
My stiletto whips through the air and it clashes with a resounding ring against the rapier. Hanashiro-chan. A voice like a wolf calls out. My spine locks and the rabbit crawls up my throat and I choke. Now, that is no way to greet an old friend, she chimes. A lady that sires, a lady undenied.
My bad.
I murmur. Yo, I just chucked a knife at you. Yeah, it might be.
You're bad. You just tried to kill... I apologize, Shiragiku-sama. This celestial lord just...
It is not your fault. Hanashiro has always been like this, Shiragiku says. Her Moon Emperor's crown with all its precious dangling bits balances evenly on her head, even with all that hair atop it. She wears her mask as well, clearly part of the same set as mine, but with fresh spider lily strokes in red, in addition to the ancient gold embroidery of chrysanthemums and the delicate threading of black ink. Her mask has enormous spiraling ram horns in addition to her natural bone horns, which make her imperial crown look even larger. Even through the mask, I know she doesn't look at me. Since you two were getting along so well, she chimes, I think this Lord of Nothing should be the one to help you this time. As though you have ever done a thing for me, Shiragiku. No, that's unfair. She has done much and more, but neither of us have forgiven the other for what was behind that door. I know she blames me for what was done, the way I lost my guts. This Lord of Nothing should be the one to help you this time. No, she won't help me at all. No one will.
Excuse me, Shiragiku-sama.
My, now you don't think you can handle little Hanashiro? The precious childhood friend of your lord and master? The sound of grinding teeth is louder than our breathing, mostly because Shiragiku and I don't require breathing. Fair, yes, okay. Weird that you'd still use like that turn of phrase, but then not have to. Huh.
I mean,
I try now to
they
get
probably didn't originally use that turn of phrase, right?
There you are. That's probably it. I try now to get what I came here for, but I see her face. I see her face and I know I will be ignored. I see her face and I know I will be ignored. And the words of a kingdom slip from my tongue, and I say nothing. I say nothing. Tsubame-chan doesn't miss a thing, eyes lighting on me as merciless as a moth to a leaf or some such thing. What do they eat?
Hanashiro-sama.
Tsubame tries kindly, but I can't stand it. I start walking. Shiragiku gives Tsubame-chan some directions about what rooms to place me in, and this and that, whatever, to that cat. And I knew there was nothing left for me. I knew that. I knew that.
Oi, Hanashiro!
I look at Tsubame-chan and I don't know what they see, but it must be something. What does it take to drown a king?
Hanashiro?
I look at them, attentive, or what passes for it in my mind, but it doesn't seem enough. Because Tsubame pushes, pries, that they get close to me and I stiffen and go still, and probably knowing they've won, they step back? But something isn't so right about that. I keep walking, and despite Lun Kocharan with the longer stride, they keep pace with me, though I glide away as though they are nothing. The same way Shiragiku looks at me these days.
Hey, Shiro-sama.
Tsubame waves a hand in front of my face. I wrinkle my nose. Don't call me that. I don't realize I've said it aloud until Tsubame's eyes glitter like an ancient sky and my chest tightens so hard that Shiragiku is right. I do want to die.
Do you think it's impossible for us to get along?
Tsubame-chan says, leaning in, but not too far. Strangely respectful. I scoff.
Absolutely impossible.
My voice comes out as a croak, but Tsubame's eyes twinkle and my face flames. and I can't explain why, but entirely uncharacteristically, I reach out my gloved hand and slap them across the cheek. Without missing a beat, Tsubame-chan reaches out barehanded and aims in retaliation, and I bare my teeth, ready for it. But something about the way my body crumples inward seems to frighten them, and their bare hand lands safely though hard, on my wide-robed sleeve. I glare at them, and then I try to smack them again on the forearm, but they catch my hand before it makes it there. The angle is weird, so for a second, Tsubame-chan is simply holding my hand. I must give them some kind of pained expression because Tsubame-chan lets go of me instantly, and seemingly embarrassed for such a shameless cat, they run away. Man, flirting is weird. Is this how? It's just like slap fight. Oh, but what if we accidentally held hands? And, oh, oh, how strange to be soothed as easy as this. 2. Duo. Does it matter how we met? The question is, do I regret meeting you again, Tsubame? I can't tell what I want if I want is...
I can't
I'm going to try that one again from the top.
If what I want is to end it, or end you.
Got him. We Amayori are too few now to entertain regret. But forget it. You don't remember me this time, Shirayori. You never have, and I'll be damned if this is you, or it isn't. Is this you? Have you been here before? Are you here now, or have you been here before? The Roselia sword sits at my hip as I stroll out into the garden, and hear the swish whistle of sword before me. Tsubame is diligently wearing that same black and gold rolling mist kimono, the long sleeves whipping this way and that. Lunkocharon practices sword singing with a sachet and slip of the hips, and I can't help myself, joining in a dance I knew long ago. And it is so strange how words come out of my throat as though they've been there these long 100 years. Or more? How was I supposed to know what was in store? Are they here now, or have they been here before? Lunkocharon beats me to the door, between here and 7-4.
The most esteemed Shiro-sama deigns to grace me with their presence.
Tsubame-chan says.
What's the occasion?
Play with me, won't you?
My voice comes out low. Seductive? I hadn't meant it like that, but it makes sense since, outside of yesterday, I only spoke when my body wanted something I alone couldn't satiate. Tsubame-chan gapes, fighting a flush and utter look of bewilderment, the look on my bare face. But the dilation of their dark-on-dark pupils says it all, doesn't it? And I find myself reflexively afraid, so my graceful swan limbs sway down in a mock bow of subservience, and Tsubame-chan's lips part, fangs peeking out. And then I throw some dirt in their face.
Flirting, huh?
Yeah. Pocket sand!
Tactics!
I'm learning so much about how to flirt right now.
Right? How to get that cat boy to notice you. Throw sand in their face, apparently. While they're spitting out gravel and silt, I bring my sword down on a shattering strike. But with the cascading ring of a bell, Lunkocharon meets me where I am, their hand holding tight to their rapier. And I smile.
Oh, great and lordly Shiro-sama.
They grit between their teeth.
Would you do me the heavenly favor of not killing me where I stand?
I smile. They shift their grip.
I would prefer not to die at your hand.
Then I win.
I wink. Tsubame-chan's ears flatten, and then it's something in their eyes that makes me remember. I can't say what it is. I don't know. The same fury from long ago. That hatred of me, I know. Was it hatred? I wasn't sure either of us could tell after a point, Shirayori. I wasn't sure if either of us knew how well we knew each other. A moment in the rain during the new year before we Amayori didn't celebrate, that Shiragiku hated and then forgot to hate. You were holding something in your hand, a red envelope, a porcelain tangerine, the likes of which hadn't been seen in a century. That first century we all survived. You must have made your strange request to the sculptor that spun her, this little Mekon tangerine. Here, you said, hold this. I didn't know what you were doing, so I held it as we walked home, masks on so no one would know, but these days, in this era, in these streets where we barely made ends meet, so no one would know we were heavenly creatures, whose heaven defeated her, all of us. Swallow, swan, shrike, you were the first of us and the first to fall that night. When we got back to our distant and humble abode, having walked because it was too dangerous to float, my feet hurt and I was tired of carrying your things, and I didn't remember what day it was or why you were giving them to me. You had hands, you could hold them yourself. I tried to give them back to you. Lily, they're yours. Happy New Year,
Lumoshi.
I said. Lumosha Ranuri, or Lumoshi, as I knew you then. I remembered. It all came together as we stood in the front step where we towed off our soggy socks and rotten boots, dripping with water we could shed in a second, but we're trained not to now, as we trained ourselves out of doing anything unnatural, though that was not so absurd by the standards of the folk of Unearth, who themselves had their pointed ears and enchantments and tricks, but not like we did. I set down the porcelain Mekon on my shoe shelf where it would remain until that house burned down one May, and I opened the small red envelope. You were a bad artist, so I laughed and you stuck your tongue out and spat, but you'd scribbled on a poorly cut scrap of paper something that resembled the paper money we used in the heavens, which were less of currency and more physical representation of a favor. The color of the paper suggested the tier of the favor owed between a coconut or 2 mangoes, or the name of your firstborn child. That's a very strange exchange rate.
How many mangoes per firstborn child's name?
I mean, we've got the answer. It's clearly 2. I was like,
I thought those were the tiers.
Those are tiers.
oh, those were the tiers.
Also,
I see.
I'm going to be honest here. A coconut is not worth 2 mangoes. 2 mangoes are way better than a coconut.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I was reading this wrong then. The coconut is the lowest favor. Makes sense. 2 mangoes is the middle tier favor. So I'm guessing fruit is hard to come by. And the name of your firstborn child is like the top tier favor. I'm going to guess that's at least 10 mangoes. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm really set on the name for my firstborn, but like if you handed me like a thing of fresh fruit and said, here, they're George now, and I'd be like, well, I guess that's their name.
Huh? Taking notes.
This still kind of is easier to think through than, whatever the British system was before. What was it again?
I have no idea.
Before decimalization.
Oh God. Oh no. That sounds difficult.
Oh yeah, it's messed up. They had like a through pence and a through penny, which are not the same thing at all.
Oh no, that's just, why would you do that? Oh no.
I need to find the dumb quote.
Then again, counterpoint, money? YN.
No?
Yeah, I'm gonna come down on the side of no on that one, maybe. Anyway. The memory warps every time I try to remember the color of the paper. It looks like a death certificate every time I try to call it back. It looks like your ashes, scattering like sakura on the wind. Tsubame lunges. Their rapier stabs me in the abdomen, and Tsubame's momentum goes so far that the hilt of the slender blade touches my stomach, the tip well beyond the other side of me. I look at Tsubame-chan's eyes, cold and precise and automatic. And then I catch the brilliant light ripple back into them with an absolutely delectable amount of something like fear, but without the consequence. That is, after all, what you get from striking what would otherwise be a killing blow to a mortal. Tsubame-chan isn't afraid that they've killed me. They're afraid I'll be angry. What a fascinating distinction. I kiss them on the cheek. Their 2 tails bristle, fur fanning out until they're all fluffy. When I laugh, they hiss at me. Thank you. Appreciate the Foley work. They draw the rapier out whip quick, and then they drop it.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
They are blushing.
I think I'm revealing something about myself, but this is kind of appealing.
I mean, if you're immortal and you can get someone's death, I mean, yeah, I can understand that. Sure.
I can kind of understand this.
I believe it's called I can fix them, I can corrupt them energy.
The sword thing in particular is really just a reverse Utena.
You're right.
Instead of flirting by pulling the sword out, you flirt by putting it in.
Did we ever see how she put the sword back in Anthe after?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there like a compartment?
Okay, but now you're actually thinking, how is there a scene? What happens to the sword?
That's a great question, isn't it?
Does she just pull multiple swords out?
Gets a new one every time.
Does she have to reload Anthe before each fight?
They have to go step back on the stairs and then drop back in to reload. Because not only does it reload the area, but it also kind of like resets all of the flags and stuff. So the oh, poor Anthe. All right,
I have found the quote as well that explains it. Note for young people and Americans: 1 shilling equals 5p. It helps to understand the antique finances of the Witchfinder Army if you know the original British monetary system. 2 farthings equals 1 halfpenny. 2 halfpennies equals 1 penny. 3 pennies equals a threepenny bit. 2 threepences equals a sixpence. 2 sixpences equals 1 shilling or a bob. 2 bobs equals a florin. 1 florin and 1 sixpence equals half a crown. 4 half crowns equals 10 bob note. 2 10 bob notes equals 1 pound or 240 pennies. 1 pound and 1 shilling equals 1 guinea. And the British resisted decimalized currency for a long time because they thought it was too complicated.
They thought screw this, I'm going back to mangoes. And then after changing, the British never made another mistake. That was the last one.
Oh, true. Though on the topic of translation, like, it's easier. It was easier back then. I refused to change with the times.
You know what? I imagine that's true because now you can't kind of avoid how the rest of the world is doing. It's harder to sequester yourself away and refuse to change or acknowledge or move on. Oh, all right. Anyway. I believe you just said, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I did.
What isn't?
I smile. I am bleeding, the sap of me pouring out like some kind of simple honeysuckle syrup, and I shrug. These clothes are probably ruined, but I feel just fine. I smirk.
The look on your face.
Shut up. Do you like getting stabbed?
I wink.
Certainly spices up the bedroom, don't you think?
We are outdoors.
Not for long. Would you like a snack?
Would I like a...
Their ears flatten and then perk.
What kind of snack?
My voice begins to drain from me with the adrenaline. I shrug. When my voice comes out, it's much quieter.
No, this and that.
Lun Cocheron sidles up to me, sheathing their sword. I sheath the Roselia sword. I can cook an immensely wide range of things, most of them ancient cuisines, but I haven't eaten in a long, long while. Amayori don't need to eat, and I haven't been around in the kitchen in the last 100 years. I don't remember much from the past century. There wasn't anything to remember, just time passing. Just time. Tsubame-chan makes a movement in the corner of my eye, and I can tell they're going to casually bump into me, so I narrow my eyes and shove their shoulder with a gloved hand before they can. They shove me back, ears flattening. I never understood how much having cat ears adds to flirtation, but
That's the appeal of Kinomimi, right? You get to see their emotions even as they try to hide them. It's cute.
yes, you're right. When you say it out loud like that, it makes it sound creepier.
To be fair, I think most things do sound creepy if it's said aloud.
What? Yeah, I mean, yeah. When you say them aloud like that, yeah, people are people. I try to skip ahead to make it through the sliding doorframe before them, only a stride away, but they crowd me, and we both try to squeeze through a too small opening. since the sliding door is stuck, and I pinch their ear and knock my weight back, pushing myself forward. Tsubame-chan sticks out a foot, tripping me, but not before I grab a fistful of their hair and they scream as we both tumble onto the floor. What is with these two?
The most dignified of heaven.
You grabbed my hair!
That's what you get for being in my way.
You pushed me.
I give them a look.
You were in my way.
I totally wasn't.
I give their hair a whiff.
You're stinky.
Oh, excuse me for being a mere mortal beneath your majesty's grace.
There's a hot spring in the bathing chamber.
Nothing but the best for Celestial King Hanashiro, huh?
Tsubame mutters. I'm tempted to say nothing, but something makes me.
It's not that.
Tsubame's ears flick.
It's so I don't have to go to the communal onsen.
Yeah, like a fucking luxury.
Tsubame-chan looks at me like I am stupid. I sigh, looking away.
It's so no one has to look at me.
You telling me there's gender in this story? I don't know. I don't see it.
You're not bad to look at?
Tsubame-chan says, and I can't tell if they're intentionally being stupid.
Never mind. Is there anything you don't eat?
You're not gonna make me some berries and leaves, right? You can cook real food?
Why would I eat berries and leaves? I eat real food.
Lun Kocheron shuffles awkwardly.
Okay then.
I frown.
You don't have to yell.
Bye!
I tense.
Bye.
No. Fuck. I mean, to shower.
Tsubame-chan shifts their weight from foot to foot.
I'm running away now.
Leave if you want. It doesn't matter to me.
From around the corner, they shout,
You promised me a snack. I expect a snack when I return.
I roll my eyes.
Only the best for Tsubame-sama.
Die!
You know, for attacking Tsubame right away, then attacking again, but this time in a sexy way. A lot of quotation marks. to inviting them for a snack. To I don't care if you're here. I
love the energy these two have. They're so hopeless.
I don't know what's happening. They're flipping and flopping between. I don't know.
I think Lun Kocheron here has a little bit of the Soon energy.
I think they both do.
You know what? I think that's what it is. They're both tsundere.
This is what happens when you get two tsunderes together.
Oh!
It's very dangerous.
Oh no, they were both tsunderes.
People die. I throw my blood-stained robes into the fire and they burn with the scent of blood like burnt sugar. I take a washcloth and wipe off the bloodstains on my skin, and then I put on a milky tunic that doesn't have any dragging fabrics, cinching at the wrists, even though the sheer sleeves puff out, almost like long paper lanterns. The tunic is nearly a robe since it drops to the floor, but it's shaped like a one-dragged-down shirt, with fortune-knotted buttons and winding loops of frogging. This style is not traditional of this kingdom, but it was absorbed into it not too long ago. I cast a glamour shield to dissuade the various stains and strains of cooking, and then I begin. I start thinking of a small meal. Fresh noodles from the kitchen, stir-fried with shredded red cabbage and foraged mushrooms, with fried quail egg, yolk soft, on top. I start with the aromatics, a combination of garlic, scallion, cut a half-finger long, garlic, and sweet onion. Once those are done, I add the mushrooms. These are not the ones I knew back when, but they'll do. Gentle, unassuming, soaking up flavor rather than necessarily providing any strong notes. I add in the cabbage, which steadily shrinks, and I can feel it, my shoulders relaxing into the aroma of everything coming together. The savory garlic and onion, the earthy mushroom, the mellow but bright freshness of cabbage. The combined space of kitchen and living room quickly warms up with the heat of cooking over a gas stove, but also with the warmth of familiar flavors, and a home I'll never know again. That feeling only strengthens when I add the seasonings. I pick up the bottle of imported fish sauce from outside the divisions of the unearthly kingdom, which is not the one I remember, but it's close enough. Close enough. Close enough is as close as I can get. I add a splash of fish sauce, then my homemade spicy chili crisp, white pepper, imported garlic powder, and mushroom powder. Lun Kocharon exits the bath, which is in the only separate chamber, and sniffs the air. Their tails are waving gently. They don't say anything, so neither do I. I toss the fresh noodles in the barest drizzle of sesame oil, and then I add them to the pan, lifting it from the fire and shaking the pan, flipping the noodles with a flourish. Tsubame-chan snorts.
Of course you'd be a show-off.
If I do remember, I wasn't the one prancing around the courtyard flailing around my shiny sword.
For some reason, Tsubame-chan keeps looking me up and down as though they have never seen me before.
My eyes are up here.
I say, when their eyes linger a little too long on the expanse of my thighs, which are silhouetted against the semi-opaque of my milk-colored tunic. Tsubame-chan's tail stands straight up and they shuffle away, looking a little abashed before they decide they're too good for that. They could collide straight into me as I'm flipping the pan. And I grab their face with one hand and shove it in front of them, delicately plating the noodles on a platter, garnishing with cilantro, and smacking Tsubame's hand as it greedily pinches a noodle.
Bad cat.
I say, turning on the tap and flicking water at them.
Yeah.
Put the noodles into these bowls unless the only thing you're good for is standing there and looking pretty. Rude.
How am I looking rude? I'm just standing here.
You're staring at me.
You look
Tsubame thinks.
bad.
Mm-hmm, and that's why you keep looking at my thighs.
Hey now, I was just trying to figure out if you were decent under there.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I nod at the empty glass bowls.
Now serve.
Tsubame licks their lips, which part and then looks away. In the pan I cooked the noodles, I crack 2 quail eggs on opposing sides, and the moment the whites solidify, I slide them out onto Tsubame's sloppy nests of noodles in my glass bowls with Sakura engravings.
Wow, you're really bad at this.
I say.
My talents lie elsewhere.
And where would that be?
Oh, I don't know, stabbing you?
Lun Kocharon grins toothily.
And not just stabbing you, but like all the way through.
I bring both the bowls to the kotatsu and pour us both glasses of water.
Do I really look bad?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Lun Kocharon mocks. I look at them steadily.
I would.
Lun Kocharon looks away.
No, I just wasn't expecting it.
You look bad, too.
Thanks.
Lun Kocharon's eyes half lit. The thing is, they look like their edges have blurred, their cheeks suffused with warmth from the spring. They must have changed into one of the servant uniform robes that the cleaning staff tauntingly keep on the shelves in there, expecting that perhaps someday I'll learn my place just like they have. The uniform is a silver kimono embroidered with white chrysanthemums with a black robe underneath, which would already look starkly different from my public garb of my black-on-black layers of robes with my white fur across the shoulders. The sash around the waist of the silver kimono uniforms are black and have a running silver wolf embroidered onto the front. Their typical uniform must be for their position as Lord of Nothing, whatever kind of position that is.
Fuck, this is good.
Tsubame looks significantly less bad stuffing their face with noodles. I smile and dig into my own, but I'm not hungry.
Who knew you were good for something after all?
Tsubame-chan jokes. With long practice, I suppress a flinch.
I'm not, though.
I say.
Huh? I hate to say it, but this tastes amazing.
I say nothing, looking into my quail egg. I break the center of it and nibble on the yolk-spilled whites.
What do you mean you're not good for anything?
Tsubame-chan says.
I'm sure the Lord of Nothing would know something about that.
Tsubame-chan says nothing now, but irritation lines the stiffness of their shoulders. In swift, jerky motions, they finish slurping up the last of their bowl, and I think they're going to leave, finally, but instead they just take a second serving.
You're one weird fellow.
Tsubame-chan says.
And I'm still not sure if you're going to try to kill me for my little stunt back there, but I have a feeling about you.
Is it the I want to murder you feeling?
No.
I give them a look.
Yes, but that's not the point. You're not bad. You let me bathe in your luxury little hot spring, and you fed me dinner, and
I didn't feed you dinner.
I rush to say.
this is a bit more than a snack.
It's not dinner.
It's not a problem with me if it was.
I don't say anything, but my chest tightens.
Anyway, you're not bad.
I am.
You haven't been bad to me, Shiro-sama.
I keep my voice level, but it comes out icy.
I'm cruel and temperamental and unpredictable.
Lon Kocheron continues chewing.
But you're not the one who stabbed me in the gut.
I lived.
Lon Kocheron points at me with their chopsticks.
Hey, I'm just saying, we could probably get along.
I don't think so.
We're getting along just fine now.
I shake my head.
You don't understand. I don't know when tarot cards will slip from my hands, and even the finest diviner will fail to understand where I am, who I am, and when I have a temper. You barely know me, but you know this. Anything can trigger it.
But
I shake my head, trembling.
you've been really nice to me.
Tsubame murmurs.
I mean, yeah, there's been some rough moments, but you've been really nice to me today. And yeah, there was some bad shit that popped off, but you've been kinder than you should. You've been kind.
On one hand, attempted murder. On the other hand, dinner.
I mean,
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
yeah, right? I mean, like, for a well-cooked home-cooked meal, I can deal with a little bit of attempted murder.
I can be kind, but I am not kind.
I don't think that's true.
You don't know me. I can be kind, but I'm not kind.
That line was also just, I was also just thinking about that line. Like, I can be kind, but I am not kind. Some tasty stuff right there. Very quietly, Tsubame says.
I think I'd like to.
I lean over the table and hold their chin in one hand.
I want you to remember this when you think of me.
I stab them in the gut. Tsubame-chan only has the time to gasp as blood fountains through their fingers as they try to hold themselves together. I turn my back. With a snap, I send them where I can sense the greatest influx of folk. I leave my dinner untouched and lock myself in my bedroom, letting the hammers of the dulcimer guide my tune, and I let the metal strings ring and ring and ring. I was right to leave it this way. I was right to dissuade Tsubame-chan before they knew too deeply what was going on, because I know if they knew, if you knew, Lamoshi, you wouldn't forgive me for who I am. I'd speak my tongue, and you wouldn't understand. Damn!
That's a hell of a demo.
Oh,
That's a hell of a demo right there.
I'm
So-
left with feelings.
Right? Me too. Like, holy crap, this is awesome. And the full version of the game came out, what, last year, was it? I think, oh man, I don't remember anyone talking about this one, which is so strange because this seems like it checks so many of the boxes that, especially people that follow our channel.
It has cat thems.
It has captains.
It's got people stabbing each other, but also like flirting with each other while they stab each other.
It has the flirty stabbing each other. It has the horrible, abusive trauma stabbing each other. It has all the kinds of stabbing you want.
Slaps box of game. You can fit so many stabs in this baby.
We have some comedic stabbing. We have some tension building stabbing.
We have some romantic stabbing. Yeah, it's got layers.
Stabbing is a versatile language. I think we've learned a lot.
Oh man, we'll leave a link in the description below to where you can get the full version of this game because you should absolutely check it out. Judging by the demo here. Reina, thank you so much for being our guest and recommending that we play this game today.
Thanks for having me and
Would
playing
you please
this
tell
with
the kind people on the internet where they can find you?
Yeah, so I stream on twitch.tv.alephalpha, and currently me and Jupiter are streaming Mr. Rainer's Solve It service tomorrow, because,
Oh yeah.
yeah, you stole our thunder.
Oh no.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
You shouldn't be, because it's good. And
It's such a great game.
I was the one who said you should play it. I think I recommended it.
Oh, is that the only thing you've been streaming? Just because
no.
I don't know at what date this will go out, so I want to make sure we cover your bases here.
Oh yeah, I generally tend to stream Umineko on weekends with Jupiter. I have been a bit busy otherwise with these doesn't work, so I haven't been streaming anything much else lately. But I also occasionally stream fighting games and other VNs. Like I have a couple series on YouTube as well. You can find me under the same alephalpha. No, it's Reina on YouTube now. Yeah, whatever. It works out.
Well, there will be a link in the description below. So please, 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 please go follow Reina. Check out their stream sometime. And
Yeah.
Reina, thank you so much for coming on and being one of and playing this game with us on our channel. It means a whole lot to us.
Thanks for having me here. I enjoyed it too, and I'm really interested in seeing more of this actually.
Me too. Me too, honestly. I did not expect to get this invested this quickly in this, but damn, they know their audience. And with that, any parting words?
Be gay, do crimes. I have nothing else.
Good. Solid advice. Solid advice. Thank you for coming, everyone. Why did I say thank you for coming like it was a stream?
They came. They
came.
went to the page. They watched the thing.
That's true. They went to http://catgirl.training and watched this video. That's where the catgirl training comes in. Finally, we've lived up to our channel name.
Finally.
Finally.
Do not actually train your cat girls by stabbing them or your cat
No.
pets, or your
Okay,
cat
we cannot
boys.
be held legally responsible if you stab your cat girl. Just so we're clear, this does not constitute legal advice. All right.
Cat people have rights, unlike Nekopara.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.